Hey, everybody. I hope and pray that you're doing well today. So we come to our word from the word. And today that word is genius. Genius. Now, you're going to find out when we're going to look at one verse today in this wonderful story in Genesis 24. One verse, and I mean, it's just something, I don't know why we haven't paid more attention to having responses like this. A little bit of sarcasm in that. I hope you hear that. But it's interesting. As you go through the story, Abraham is, he knows his days are limited, and his time. Sarah has passed away. It's been many years later, and now he knows his time is about to come for him to pass away. And so he gets his servant. He says, like, I want you to swear to me. I want you to take an oath with me that you're going to go and you're going to find a wife for my son Isaac, but it cannot be from somebody around here. And he wants him to go back home. And again, I encourage you to read the whole chapter so you see the whole story. And it unfolds, and then the story is retold again. It's really stressing the importance and the accuracy of exactly what happened. Now, to summarize it, it works this way: the servant goes out and he gets there and he is silently praying to the Lord, and he says, "Lord, I don't know who I'm supposed to get, but let's just let it play out this way, Lord. Let's let somebody come up and they're going to offer me some water, or they come up and I ask them for some water, and then they'll give me some water, and then they'll offer to water the animals, the camels as well. And if they do that, then I'm going to know." And let that kind of be the sign. So as he's praying this silently to himself, he hasn't even finished praying, and the answer to his prayer walks up. It is Rebecca. He has conversation there, and exactly what he had prayed happens. And so he's like, okay, I've got to go. Let me tell you what's going on. Goes back to her house to be introduced to the family. And then word already got to them, to her brother Laban, and to her father as well. And so, I mean, they're already kind of excited about just hearing about these things that are going on. They see her and the gold that she's got on her kind of as a promise of what is coming. And man, they're excited. And after they hear the story, they hear what has gone on and how he is praying, and here she is, their response. Genesis 24, verse 50. Their response is genius. Then Laban and Bethuel answered and said, the thing comes from the Lord. We cannot speak to you, either bad or good. Now, I'll admit that in the Christian Standard, I kind of like that translation a little bit better. And I told you that's a lot of times what I start with in my studies, looking there. And I use a lot of different translations, preaching from New King James, sharing here with New King James. But in in the Christian Standard Version, it basically says this: we have no choice. And I love that. This is a thing of the Lord. We have no choice. Now, the reason I say that is genius is because that's how we all ought to respond. When we realize a thing is from God and could only be from God, the only right response on our behalf is to say, look, I can't say anything good or bad. I don't have a choice in the matter. It's not up to me. In other words, it is having this thought, this belief, this faith that because it is a thing of God, the choice has already been made for me, and if I was to decide anything else, I'm a fool. Now, I can look back in my life, and I'm sure you can look back in yours, and there have been several times, many times, where it was a thing from God and it was a thing of the Lord, and I knew it, and I still chose to do something different. You know what I was? A fool. Acting foolish, acting ignorant when I knew better. And see, every time we do that, we are not walking by faith. We're trying to walk by sight, or we're trying to incorporate our own thoughts and our own feelings into it when God has simply said, well, here it is. What are you going to do with it? And I think we would do well. It would be genius on our part and genius in our walk of faith to say, you know what, God? You have showed up and you've showed off, and I have no choice in the matter. And it's not a bad thing. It's not like saying, man, God didn't give me a choice. No, it is a blessing to say, I don't have to make a choice because God has shown me the way. All I have to do is step out in faith. That doesn't mean it was going to be easy. I mean, here they are still sending their sister off and their daughter off into a far away place. But they were doing so by faith. Today, it would be genius of us all to take a step of faith and say, God, you have made the choice for me. Let me just walk by faith. God bless you. And I pray you have a great, great day.